Unova, Kalos, Alola, Galar. Let's see Ash Ketchum's team in all these regions, starting with Unova region. Leading the team was Pikachu, Ash's oldest and most trusted partner. Even in a brand new region filled with unfamiliar opponents, Pikachu remained the heart of the team. But Pikachu wasn't the first new Pokemon Ash caught in Unova. That honor belonged to P-Dove. Although it started out as a simple regional bird Pokemon, P-Dove quickly became a reliable member of Ash's team and participated in several important battles throughout the region. Not long after catching P-Dove, Ash met a Pokemon that would bring plenty of personality to the team, Oshawott. Whether it was showing off, competing for attention, or charging into battle, with complete confidence, Oshawott became one of the most entertaining Pokemon in Unova. However, the next Pokemon to join Ash had a much more emotional story. Before meeting Ash, Tepig had been abandoned by its previous trainer. After gaining Ash's trust and friendship, Tepig finally found a place where it truly belonged. As he continued his journey, another strong Pokemon joined the team, Snivy. Unlike many of Ash's Pokemon, Snivy was calm, confident, and already highly skilled in battle. Soon afterward, Ash received an egg that eventually hatched into Scraggy. From the moment it was born, Scraggy showed one thing, above all else, a love for battling. No matter who stood in front of it, Scraggy was always ready for a fight. Let's have a look on evolutions. P-Dove experienced one of the biggest transformations on the team, eventually evolving into Tranquil and later into Unpheasant. Tepig, however, managed to grow stronger and eventually evolve into Pignite. But Ash wasn't done building his team yet. The next addition was Swaddle, a small bug-type Pokemon that quickly formed a strong bond with its trainer. Despite its size, Swaddle would go on to become one of the team's most dependable members. Later in the journey, Ash caught a Palpitoad. Known for its power and durability, Palpitoad often stepped up whenever Ash needed extra strength in battle. Another valuable addition was Roggenrola. Tough, loyal, and reliable, Roggenrola quickly proved that it could hold its own against strong opponent. The next Pokemon is Krokorok. Before officially joining Ash, this Pokemon spent months following him around as a wild Sandile. Eventually it joined Ash as Krokorok and became one of the standout stars of the region. Swaddle underwent a complete transformation, evolving first into Swaddaloon and then into Leavening. Roggenrola evolved into Boldore but never reached its final evolution. And finally, Krokorok completed its journey by evolving into powerful Crocodile. And guys, with this we are done with Unova team and now we are moving ahead with the next region. Kalos region. Once again, leading the team was Pikachu. After traveling through multiple regions together, Pikachu had become one of the most experienced Pokemon Ash had ever owned. But the first major Pokemon in Kalos was a Froakie. Froakie wasn't interested in just any trainer. In fact, it already rejected several trainers before finally choosing Ash. From the very beginning, it was clear that this partnership was going to be something special. Not long after meeting Froakie, Ash got another important teammate, Fletchling. Small and energetic, Fletchling quickly became a reliable partner and helped Ash in countless battles throughout the Kalos. As Ash continued his journey, he met a Pokemon unlike any he had trained before. That Pokemon was Hawlucha. With the personality of professional wrestler and the confidence to match, Hawlucha immediately became one of the most entertaining members of the team. However, not every Pokemon joined the team as a powerhouse. The next addition was Goomy. At first glance, Goomy seemed weak, timid, and constantly frightened. But Ash saw potential where others saw weakness, and that belief would completely change Goomy's future. Finally, the last major addition to Ash's Kalos team came in a very unusual way. Ash discovered an egg that eventually hatched into Noibat. Watching Noibat grow from a newborn Pokemon into capable battler became one of the most rewarding parts of the Kalos journey. Now let's take a look on evolutions. As Ash and Froakie trained together, Froakie evolved into Frogadier and eventually into Greninja. However, Greninja's story didn't end there. Its incredible bond with Ash unlocked the legendary Ash Greninja form. Fletchling also experienced tremendous growth during the Kalos adventure. What started as a small regional bird eventually evolved into Fletchinder and then into powerful Talonflame. Meanwhile, Goomy's transformation was one of the most impressive in the entire region. The shy little dragon eventually evolved into Sligo and later into the mighty Goodra. And finally, Noibat completed its own growth journey by evolving into Noivern. So guys, with this, Kalos team completes and now we are moving ahead with the next region. Alola region. As always, Pikachu remained at Ash's side. No matter how many new Pokemon joined the team, Pikachu continued serving as Ash's most trusted partner and strongest source of experience. The first major addition to Ash's Alola team was Rowlet. From the moment it appeared, Rowlet became a fan favorite thanks to its sleepy personality and hilarious behavior. Not long after Rowlet joined the team, Ash met a cheerful and energetic Pokemon, Rockruff. The bond between Ash and Rockruff grew stronger with every battle, making it one of the most lovable Pokemon on the team. However, the next Pokemon to join Ash had one of the most emotional stories in the entire Alola series. That Pokemon was Litten. Before joining Ash, Litten spent its time caring for an elderly Stoutland. The relationship between the two created one of the most touching storylines in the Pokemon history and made Litten's journey unforgettable. As Ash's adventure continued, he encountered a Pokemon unlike anything he had seen ever before, Poipole. As an Ultra Beast, Poipole came from another world entirely. Its playful personality quickly helped it fit in with Ash and rest of the team. And finally, we come to one of the rarest Pokemon Ash has ever owned, Melton. At first, Melton seemed more interested in eating metal than battling. But behind its playful nature was a Pokemon with incredible potential. Now let's have a look on evolution journey. Rockruff, however, experienced one of the rarest evolutions ever seen in the anime. After developing a powerful bond with Ash, Rockruff evolved into the unique dusk form Lycanroc. Next comes Litten, perhaps the most emotional evolution story in Alola. As Litten grew stronger, it evolved into Torracat. Then during the Alola League, it finally achieved its ultimate form and became Incineroar. Poipole also underwent an incredible transformation. After returning from its actual world, it later evolved into the powerful Nagaandel and reunited with Ash when he needed it most. And finally, Melton. What began as a tiny mythical Pokemon eventually evolved into the gigantic Melmetal, becoming one of the rarest Pokemon Ash had ever owned. And with this, the Alola team completes. And now we are finally moving towards the last region. The last region, Galar region. Leading the team once again was Pikachu. After years of traveling together, Pikachu had become more than just Ash's first Pokemon. The first major addition to Ash's Galar team was Dragonite. Unlike most dragon types, Dragonite had an incredible kind and caring personality. But once a battle started, it became an absolute powerhouse. Not long after catching Dragonite, Ash met a Pokemon with a heartbreaking past. The Pokemon was Gengar. After being abandoned by its previous trainer, Gengar spent years waiting for someone to return. Fortunately, that someone ended up being Ash. Now guys, it's time for Poke Quiz and you have to guess the name of this Pokemon in comment section. However, the next member of the team was completely different. Farfetch lived for battle. Every challenge was an opportunity to prove itself. Its warrior spirit made it one of the most determined Pokemon Ash had ever trained. And finally, we arrive at perhaps the strangest Pokemon on the entire team, Dracovish, a fossil Pokemon unlike anything fans had ever seen before. Its appearance was unusual, its behavior was unpredictable, but despite all of that, Dracovish repeatedly proved itself against incredible powerful opponents. Now let's have a look on evolutions. After countless battles and training sessions, Riolu evolved into Lucario, becoming one of the strongest Pokemon on the team. Farfetch also experienced a major transformation. Its relentless dedication to training eventually allowed it to evolve into Noble Sir Farfetch. And guys, in this region, Ash had even special evolutions. And I am talking about Mega Evolution and Gigantamax. So the Pokemon which is going to Gigantamax is Gengar and the Pokemon which is going to Mega Evolve is no other than Lucario. So we see a Mega Lucario in his team. And guys, with this, the Galar team completes. So guys, this was for today. I'll meet you in next video. Until then guys, peace out.